Today we're going to talk about the Fugalite Bio and Fugalite Bio Parquet. Now the main benefits of the product, it is stain proof, it's waterproof, so if it gets wet it won't change colour. It's bacteriostatic, so no mould will grow on the product. It has a high mechanical and chemical resistant. It's also 3 times safer to use because it's water-based epoxy resin. It's UV resistant, so it can be used exterior. It comes with a silk effect finish with 12 colours, and because it's silk effect finish, it blends in more with the natural stone and the wood effect tiles as opposed to traditional epoxies.
I'm just going to touch a bit more on the Fugalite Bio Parquet. This, as the Fugalite Bio, has all the similar properties, along with having a silk finish. This finish has been designed to work alongside the wood effect tiles to create a seamless finish. Also, along with the finish, we've spent a long time choosing 12 colours. Kerakoll spent 4 months selecting these colours, working alongside 14 of the best Italian manufacturers in this section of wood effect tiles. As you can see here, by looking at the 12 colours available, amongst the selection it's quite easy to find a perfect match for the particular wood effect you're working with. This is a very popular silver tone, you can see here. The fractionless is a perfect match on this. The colours, by the way, are named in Latin, as this product is a worldwide product. This here again, you can see Tectona. This is another colour that works beautifully with the darker shades, creating a seamless finish.
Right, the tools you need to use the Fugalite Bio are mechanical mixer. It's important that the product must be mixed mechanically. A small margin trowel just to aid the mixing. An epoxy float, cellulose sponge and removable handle. The benefits of the cellulose sponge are against the synthetic sponges, they won't clog up as quick as a synthetic sponge, so more cost effective. Right, the product comes in a mono-pack system that's easy to open. It's designed to keep part A and part B separate. As you can see, the resin kind of separates during transit. So just give a quick stir to mix in the resin. Pour part A and B together. A good tip is to start off by hand so the resin doesn't spray everywhere. The product must be mechanically mixed, so we're just going to use just a normal drill driver with a small paint paddle on it. So it's important to make sure the product's mixed fully, so using the small margin trowel, get right to the bottom of the unit to make sure there's the product thoroughly mixed, and then give it another go with the mechanical mixer. Okay, so now we're going to apply the product. You've got 45 minutes to an hour pot life, so it all depends on site conditions and temperature, etc. So all you're doing is going across the joints, making sure the product's fully pressed into the joints. You see, as opposed to traditional epoxies, it's a lot easier to spread into the joints as well. And then you're getting any excess off with the flow diagonally, so you're not pulling it out the joints. So all you do now is a capful of the Fuga wash into the wash buoy, just 1 capful needed. What this does, it helps break down the resin as you're doing the wash off, and also helps prolong the life of the cellulose sponge. Right, so the first pass is just literally to shape the joint. So all you're doing is circular motions just to get the grout joint how you want it. If there are any bits that need touching up, you can still do it while the grout is still wet, any areas that need touching up, and then just literally shape it with the sponge. Before doing the second wash off, clean water, another capful of the Fuga wash into the wash buoy, and also it's good practice to use the clean sponge as well, because all you're doing, if you're using a dirty sponge and dirty water, just putting the resin back onto the tiles. Right, so the second pass, once you've changed the water and you've got a clean sponge, is just the diagonal stripes going diagonally across the grout joints. What this does is remove any excess grout or resin that's on the face of the tile.
Once you finish the grouting up on first wash or second pass process, the next day will follow a minimum 24 hours. When you return to the floor, you may find there could be some surplus resin just around the joints and in different areas of the floor. This can be washed off quite easily. The detergent we're going to use now is called Fugalite soap. This is a product that will be used, as we said, 24 hours later. Make sure the floor is clean and dust free initially. Just pour some of the soap onto the surface of the. Along with that, we also recommend you use, depending on the texture of the tile. If the tile is smooth, this probably won't be required, but if it has a slight texture, we would recommend using. We sell the base plates that clip on the same sponges as the handles and the attachable scouring pads. So just push those onto the pad. In a circular motion, gently just work your way around the floor. As I say, this in many instances this won't be required, but if you do have any surplus resin, this is the process you go through. Once you've worked this onto the surface, keep agitating the solution for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Leave it to work and to break down any resin should there be any on the surface. After 15 to 20 minutes later, we would suggest that you get a clean wash board full of clean water, one of our cellulose sponges, and a simple clean down now, making sure that you're removing all the Fugalite soap and any surplus resin that's removed with it. I recommend, similar to the initial pass or the first pass with the Fugalite Bio, you always change water. Keep changing that water because any resin will be going back into the water. Once you've cleaned it down, that's it, finished.
So that concludes the demonstration of the Fugalite Bio and Fugalite Bio Parquet. I hope you found it useful.
For any further information or to purchase the products, please contact mystonefloor.com.